Happy Monday to you. Welcome to another episode of Out of the Gate here. Track announcer Chris Griffin on this Monday morning. It's not afternoon yet as we get set for 10 races on the card. And I know I had a shirt picked out. I was going to bring the shirt up, but it was not ready for today. So look forward to it next week. Little teaser. I got the shirt. It's a good shirt, too. It's going to be coming out next week. I just want to make sure that I wasn't being made fun of. We'll talk about that later as far as that shirt and the way that was fitting for today's show. But we got 10 races on the card. We got a great story from the Jockeys Lounge Kitchen, and we're going to share that, too. You've got two parts on that. We got a chance to hang out with the family down there, and we'll talk about them in just a moment. But we got 10 races. Let's get into handicapping some of the races on this card. We got great stakes racing action coming up at the end of this month as we saw the nominations for those $500,000 added stakes races. We've got some great guests coming up the next 2 weeks, and we conclude this great racing season here at Parx. We've got the holidays coming up, so hopefully you're enjoying all this racing action. Let's get into handicapping the card here before we get into the 10 races. Race number 1 is going to be a 1.70 miles here, going the 2-turn distance on the main track. You take a look at this race in here, Mucho Macho Eddie. I think Ruben Silvera is going to have a real strong start to his day. I'm going to go 3-1-6 here in the opener. You take a look at this horse for Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, morning line favorite. Yes, I'm giving you a short price here in the opener. That's why my shirt was going to make a lot of sense today. But Mucho Macho Eddie, a 4-year-old gelding, 4th beaten the length last time out. I think mild improvement here on a class drop to 10,000 N1X down to the $7,500 level. The 3 is the top selection in race number 1. You're going to see a lot of the same here in race number 2. I think Verrazano Bridge, I'm just taking the new face in here. You take a look at the number 4, Lulander Jr., your second leading trainer here at the meet. We're going to get some distance too. 1 1/8 miles on the main track here at the maiden $10,000 level. Going to go 4.27. You take a look at Ruben Silvera, your leading rider on a horse that ships in from Canada. I put some bullet points together here for this race. And you take a look at the number 4 in here. First time on the dirt. This horse is first time on the dirt. Also runs for a higher tag than in Canada. Not Canada, but Canada. You take a look at the number 4 in here. Also is the new face in the field. This is the new horse that's going to be here in a field where we've seen Factum Love Style. We've also seen Prefontaine, Scoop Dog, Ricky's Melody. We've seen quite a few runners in here that have tried to graduate from this level and they just haven't quite done it. So the number 4, Verrazano Bridge, that's going to be my top selection in here. Just taking the new shooter in the field. If the horse handles the main track, should win. Now, that's the question mark, and how low, how short of a price are you willing to take there in race number 2? We'll see what happens there. I think Ruben Silvera is very tough in the early double races number 1 and number 2. Hey, there's many stories at the racetrack. Obviously, the backside, we've got a lot of the hard-working grooms, the hot walkers, trainers, jockeys, the TV crew, everybody that works really extremely hard here at Parx. And we also wanted to share a story about a gentleman and his family that have done a really nice job for the jockeys and also the employees right here at Parx. It's called the Jockeys Lounge Kitchen. Theo Horiates, his brother Matthew, his dad Angelo, his entire family, they're down there. They're always fun to see in the morning. I pop down there and grab breakfast actually on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. They do a great job. And we did a nice segment with them, but it was so good that we broke it up into 2 parts. So coming up here is part number 1 of what we call Theo Makes a Gyro. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's track announcer Chris Griffin here at Parx, and we've got an exciting thing coming your way right now as I'm with Theo Horiates. He's in our Jocks Kitchen. What's the official name of the Jocks Kitchen?
The Jockeys Lounge.
The Jockeys Lounge is where we are right now. So you guys always wonder what is going on with the jockeys during the day of racing, right? Where do they eat? Who is going to make sure that these guys, there's 10 races, 11 races sometimes, who makes sure they are well fed? It's this guy right here. So Theo, first of all, welcome. Welcome to the show. We're calling this Theo Makes a Gyro, so we're going to dive into Make a Gyro here in just a second. But how long has your family been in the business? I mean, where did it start for you guys?
We actually started at, my dad had a diner back in the early 90s in South Jersey. So we started over there, and then from there we ended up going to different racetracks right after that, during that, at the same time of in the mid-90s.
So you started Garden State?
Yes, Garden State Park.
Started Garden State, then you guys were at Freehold, you were at Monmouth Park, and now you've been here at Parx for?
3 years.
3 years. So
3 years.
Family operation, you guys have been into it.
Yeah,
but
we love
the family's from Greece, right?
Yes, we're all from Greece.
So what is that tradition like? I mean, what is that growing up like that? You guys were born here in Jersey, but you guys speak fluent.
We speak fluent. Me and my brother Matthew, we speak fluent Greek. We've been going to Greece ever since we were little kids. We're from a little island, a longevity island called pronounced Ikaria. People tend to live to 100 years old over there.
100?
Yeah, at least 100 years old. And by eating the great Mediterranean diet with especially what we're going to make today, gyro.
Yeah.
We pronounce it gyro.
Okay. Everybody says gyro.
Yeah, everyone says gyro.
Before we get into making the gyro,
Yes.
jockeys wise, what are they usually ordering? Like,
They eat gyro. Sometimes we make a joke out of it. Sometimes we make a Monday, gyro Monday.
yeah, so amazing athletes, but my man Theo Horiates, he makes sure they're well fed. So Theo, we're going to jump right in. We are going to make a gyro, a traditional Greek gyro,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All right, so what do we got ingredients wise? Let's go ahead and list the ingredients.
Okay, today to have a good gyro, you need a good yogurt sauce.
Okay,
And we
yogurt.
pronounce it a cucumber sauce, excuse me.
Okay.
It's pronounced tzatziki sauce. A little Greek yogurt in here.
Little Greek yogurt, spoonful, kind of eyeball.
Yeah, I always eyeball everything. It's when you're cooking, when you're making certain things, it's kind of hard, like to use like tablespoons. So
right.
we're gonna add a little cucumbers right
Add
here.
in the cucumber.
A little bit.
Again, same thing. It's just a
Touch of lemon.
touch of lemon.
Little olive oil. Little dill.
Some of the dill.
The dill's the secret. It brings out the flavor.
Can you over dill it?
Nah, you don't want to overdo
Okay.
it. Don't overdo it.
Okay.
A little
bit of
garlic.
Little garlic.
And a touch of salt.
Touch of salt.
That's it.
Perfect. That was part one there of Theo Makes a Gyro. Part number two, you're going to see an amazing sous chef right there in that white shirt help put together that gyro as we construct it. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Race number 3, 6.5 furlongs, 7,500 downwards of 4. You take a look at this race in here. Refi, I'm going right back to Ruben Silvera. Look, I think he wins one of these first 3 races, if not all 3. Horse is sitting in a nice spot, comes back off of that third, beating a length and 3/4. Joe Taylor trains. I think there is enough speed to set things up in here. I thought the favorite Harper. We'll take a look at that running style as Visman coming from pretty well off the pace. So I think Refi is a little bit closer here. Comes back at that same level. I think we'll be tough there in today's third race. You take a look at race number 4, and race number 4 at 6.5 furlongs, another 7,500 downwards of 4. My top choice is scratched out of there, and I really had a strong case on Grimhilda, so this race really opens up at this point. Now, I end up on the favorite. Wasn't going to be my top choice in here, but Jen's the boss. Look, the horses run good enough races to get the job done. Cattle Lynch, Jamie Rodriguez, comes in from Delaware in the last few starts. Hasn't won at the distance, but hasn't been the distance either. I really like Grimhilda. I thought that there was enough speed to set things up. I will end up on the favorite there with that scratch. Race number 5 at 7 furlongs, a starter race in here. For me, another scratch. You know, the 4 is out of there. You take a look at the 4 horse in here, Long Distance Love, Lacey Gaudette. They scratched out of this spot. I'm going to talk about the number 3 here in just a moment. There's the number 3. We talk about this one, Peyton Elizabeth. This ends up being my top selection in here. So 3, 6, 1, Centerfold Angel. I end up on the favorite again. I was trying to play against the favorite in this spot, but now I end up on Peyton Elizabeth with the scratch at this 7 furlong distance. Going to talk about more races coming up, but how can you bet those races? You can do it on the new Parx Racing mobile app. Check it out.
Now available, an enhanced Parx Racing mobile app. The improved Parx mobile app will feature biometric login through fingerprint or face ID. View wagering information before building your wager. Customizable viewing options, hands betting and transaction history, helpful tips, and much more. The enhanced Parx mobile app, now available.
Nice sequence coming up here in race number 6. It kicks off the Philly Big 5. That carryover is over $200,000. We'll talk about that on the live show. But you take a look at this race, 2-year-olds. This is another competitive race for 2-year-old colts and geldings. Maiden $40,000 race. Masrura, the 7, is going to be my top selection. I thought Finelli was going to run better than 2. The 9, Baton, is another one you got to consider. It's another horse shipping in from Kentucky. Claimed off of that effort at Keeneland. Now comes over here to Parx. Michael Pino's got 2 in there. I think he ends up with the winner the 7 or the 9. 2 is an interesting long shot play in that 6th race. Race number 7, Flashing Diamond. This horse is going to be tough. We're going to talk about this one and have a replay on the live show. But Flashing Diamond comes out of a really good race last time out. I think the rail draw is the only thing to overcome. But if Flashing Diamond is in good position, the numbers have just been significantly higher than some of the other runners in this field. Race number 8 at 7 furlongs. You take a look at this one in here. Scare It. We'll go with the first-time starter, Joe Martorez, Butch Reed. 2 Dogs, 4 Cats is interesting. The 9 right to the outside. You take a look at the number 6 and the number 10, Paper Mansion's in there. And also Mia Tosca. I just thought a first-time starter was well meant in this spot. It looks like a race that can be won by the first-time starter. It is at 7 furlongs, so that might be my only question in there. But that's a nice race for the 2-year-olds there in today's 8th race. We're going to talk about the late double here in just a moment, but we got to see how you put together the gyro and, of course, how delicious it tastes. So let's talk about Theo Makes a Gyro and check it out. Part number 2 right here for you on Out of the Gate.
Yeah, this is it right here.
All right, so I just got to mix this up, and then what are we doing from there?
Well, now as you're getting that ready, we're going to start. We have the pita bread.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to place a little oil on the grill, and we also have the gyro meat.
Okay.
And we're going to place the gyro meat right here. Now we're going to be cooking the nice gyro right here. You have to flip this over because everybody wants to have a nice hot gyro when we're cooking it. So that's why we got to keep these warm.
So that's cooking over there, the pita bread. How long are we on the grill and how long are we doing everything?
This should be at least maybe 1 more minute because this kind of cooks pretty fast.
Okay.
So we just flip it over a little bit. We flip them over, they're almost ready. And then we're going to assemble the gyro right here.
Okay, so for the sauce, would you normally let this sit for a while?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it has to set. I mean, otherwise, if you put it on the pita bread, it's going to be runny.
Okay.
And nobody wants to have it like a messy gyro.
How long would you suggest that you let that sauce
At least an hour and a half.
An hour, an hour and a half.
At least an hour and a half. That's why we have this one ready to go.
We got magic of television. Well done, my man. So we got that working over there. We got the pita. You bring it on over here. We put the sauce together, the tzatziki sauce. We've got that squared away. And then we're going to dress this up, right?
Yeah, that's what we're, yeah. So we're basically ready.
Meat's ready.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tzatziki.
Okay.
We're going to place the tzatziki right here.
This is after about an hour that it's been
about an hour and a half, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, you don't want a messy gyro.
So you're generous with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're ready to go right here. We've got 1, 2, 3. Usually I like to put at least 4 or 5 pieces.
Oh, come on. I'm a 5-piece guy.
There we go. So we're going to get one more.
I'm a 5-piece guy.
There we go. And you don't want to overcook it because then it won't be good.
Yeah.
It's nice and tender right now.
So we got that ready to go?
Yeah. You want to place it up here.
Okay.
You want to get a little tomato. A little tomato.
Do you always have to have tomatoes?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, well, it depends who you are.
Traditional.
Yeah.
All right.
The red onion gives it an awesome flavor.
Red onion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little red onion. A touch of parsley. You're going to fold it this way. This is the magic. You don't want to, this is what, you got to be very careful for the customer. So you fold it like this. Fold it like that. Right, left, under. And there you go. You have a nice gyro ready to go.
Look at that, man. Look at that. In minutes.
In minutes.
Theo Makes a Gyro. Dude, I don't.
That's awesome.
May I?
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding me?
Right?
Go ahead. How is it?
How would this say? Amazing stuff. Theo Makes a Gyro. Right here in the Jockeys Lounge, taking care of everybody right here at Parx Racing. How cool is that, man? How good is Theo down there in the Jockeys Lounge and the entire family? Thanks to Angela, Matthew, the Jockeys Lounge. And they keep the jockeys fed, they keep the staff here fed, and they do a really nice job here at Parx Racing. So thanks for their time. And we'll have a fuller version, actually, once we get a couple things going for you guys here at Parx, talking about some of the other channels and different platforms. We're going to bring you some of our coverage. So look forward to that. We have a longer version of that interview there with Theo in the Jockeys Lounge Kitchen. But big shout out, thanks to them. And that gyro is delicious, by the way. Late double here, 6 furlongs, optional 40 in here. Take a look at this race. Alice Harper, she's going to be the top pick. Let's quickly look at this replay here. She has a rail draw in this race. I'm going to go 1, 2, 5. You look at Alice Harper. She's back in here against Al Rashaka. She's going to hug the rail in here. She's got a rail draw. I think she can handle it just fine. Al Rashaka, this was her debut, so she's going to improve a little bit off of that start, obviously. Is she going to be able to run by Alice Harper this time? We'll see. She was the number 4 this afternoon. She's the number 1 here this afternoon. I think she'll be tough to handle. If she overcomes the rail draw here for Guadalupe Preciado and Michael Sanchez aboard, she's the top pick. We'll see what happens there in a real competitive race. Race number 10 to close things out. We'll take a look at my top picks in here. A couple scratches. We'll have full scratches and changes coming up, but pennants, front end speed, Frankie Pennington, Scott Lake on a class drop. That's the top choice there in the 10th and final. Flew through another episode here of Out of the Gate. We got some great guests coming up next couple weeks here on Out of the Gate. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks again to Theo, the Jockeys Lounge Kitchen, his entire family, and make sure that you enjoy this great week of live racing. Race 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'll have scratches and changes coming up. Chris Griffin in the Parx Racing Studio for another episode of Out of the Gate. We'll see you right here next Monday at 11:15 Eastern Time.